Ever get stuck ringing someone up at the register while they're like digging through their wallet for coupons? You know, those ones that expired about a decade ago? Yeah, we've all been there. And look, the customer might be always right or whatever, but today we're flipping the script, looking at customer service from your side of the counter. We're diving deep into 10 types of bad customers you'll always encounter. It's from Productivity by Design, and it's got some real gems. Get ready to handle those interesting customer encounters like a pro. So first up, the know-it-all. We've all met this person, right? They could give Google a run for its money, even on stuff they just learned 5 minutes ago. And the force nails it. They're always so quick to, like, dismiss your suggestions or expertise, insisting on doing things their way. Sound familiar?
Right. What's interesting is that it often comes from insecurity, It's not even about actually knowing stuff. It's about control, that need to feel right.
It's like their expertise is, like, a suit of armor or something, so maybe a little validation could go a long way. Like, I see you, expert customer.
Exactly. Acknowledging their perspective, even if you don't agree, can really disarm them. The source talks about gentle guidance, which I think is key. Respect that perceived expertise while you subtly nudge them to the best solution.
Speaking of needing a nudge, let's talk about the complainer. This is the customer who could find something to complain about even if you handed them a winning lottery ticket, right? But here's where it gets interesting. The source actually suggests that complaints can be, get this, a sign of loyalty.
Mm.
They care enough to voice their concerns, apparently.
It's true. It's easy to get bogged down in the negativity, but those complaints, when they're presented, constructively, pure gold. Free feedback. They're telling you what needs work, what your customers actually care about. Listen actively, empathize, maybe apologize sincerely if it's actually warranted, and boom, complaint becomes an opportunity.
So instead of dreading complaints, we should be like embracing them as a roadmap to improvement.
I like it. Now, on the totally opposite end of the spectrum, we have the indecisive customer. This is the one who just can't seem to make up their mind. They're constantly wavering, asking a million questions. It's like trying to herd cats. Or, as the source so colorfully puts it, like trying to nail down a jellyfish.
It's usually a combo of being overwhelmed by choices. Let's face it, the market is saturated these days, and that fear of buyer's remorse, right? That what if I find something better later feeling? Okay, so picture this. I walk into your store. I'm the indecisive customer, frozen by too many options. How do you, as the expert, guide me out of this decision-making abyss?
Information, clear and concise, that's key. Break it down, highlight the pros and cons of each option, and crucially, like the source says, avoid pressure. Sometimes letting them know it's totally fine to take their time, even sleep on it, that's the best approach.
No pressure, just a gentle nudge toward, clarity.
Got it.
Now, speaking of needing a gentle nudge, let's talk about the bargain hunter. This customer, they live for the deal, the discount, the freebie. You know the type. And they can be, as the source puts it, overly demanding, expecting, and I quote, unreasonable discounts. Ouch. So how do we navigate those choppy waters without, like, throwing our profit margins overboard?
Boundaries. Setting boundaries is crucial. Listen, competitive pricing, occasional promotions, those are great. But you don't want to give away the farm. Transparency is key here. Explain your pricing. Even break it down for them if you have to. Builds trust, manages expectations.
It's like saying, hey, we hear you, we want to be fair, but here's the deal.
Right.
And sometimes, maybe, like a little something extra as a prize perk. Can that turn a haggler into a happy camper?
Absolutely. A well-timed gesture of goodwill can work wonders, as long as it's strategic, doesn't become the norm,
Yeah. Okay, 4 down, 6 to go in our deep dive into these customer behaviors. And it gets even more interesting, trust me.
Yeah.
Next up is a customer type that can really test your patience, and your conflict resolution skills, whatever, the angry customer. The type quick to anger, quick to confrontation, maybe even threatening to, like, unleash lawyers over a slightly wilted lettuce leaf. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the idea.
Yeah, it's easy to get swept up in their anger, right? But here's the thing. Anger is often like a secondary emotion. It's masking something deeper. Frustration, disappointment, feeling unheard, that kind of thing.
It's like an iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Big, imposing anger on the surface, but underneath, whole lot going on.
Precisely. So instead of mirroring that anger back at them, take a deep breath and really try to listen. What's the root of the frustration here?
That makes sense. Address the why, not just the anger itself. But, and maybe this is just me, how do you stay so calm when someone's practically breathing fire down your neck? Asking for a friend, obviously.
Practice. It takes practice. But by staying calm, you're actually, modeling the behavior you want to see from them. It can be incredibly disarming.
So it's like a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
You will remain calm. We will find a solution.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not quite.
But you're not far off. Acknowledge their feelings, even if you think they're, misdirected. Offer a sincere apology if it's actually warranted. And then this is key focus on finding a solution.
Shifting from anger management to detective mode. Got it. Now, speaking of detective mode, let's talk about a customer that's a bit more subtle, a bit more cryptic even. The silent treatment customer. This customer is like a passive-aggressive ninja, silently judging your every move, but they're never actually telling you what's wrong. Like, the source says they refuse to communicate their needs or concerns. It's like trying to solve a mystery with zero clues. So how do we even begin to crack this code?
It can be tricky, for sure. You're left guessing, right? Did they have a bad experience? Are they just, naturally quiet? The key is to reach out proactively, but tread lightly.
Like, hey, is everything okay? Just want to make sure you're having a good experience. No pressure, just genuine concern.
Exactly. Sometimes that's all it takes. A simple, open-ended question like that opens the door for communication. And if they still stay silent...
White flag. We give up.
Not quite. A brief, non-intrusive follow-up email, or even a handwritten note, a little personalized touch, can work wonders. It shows you care, that you're genuinely invested in their experience.
Little personalized touch. Got it. Okay, moving on to a customer type that's sure to resonate with anyone who, works in a service industry that relies on appointments. The no-show customer. You reserve the time, you prep, you wait. And then, crickets. Infuriating.
The worst, and it can be really costly for businesses, too.
The source recommends, implementing a confirmation system, maybe even charging cancellation fees. Thoughts?
I think it's about balance. You want to be accommodating, but you also got to protect your business, right? Confirmation systems are honestly essential these days. A simple text, an email reminder, it can drastically reduce those no-shows.
It's like a friendly nudge. Hey, looking forward to seeing you. Just confirming.
Exactly. As for cancellation fees, useful deterrent for sure, especially for repeat offenders. But implement them thoughtfully. Clearly communicate your policy, offer flexibility for emergencies, maybe even a grace period for first-timers.
Right. You want to deter the behavior without, alienating potentially good customers in the process. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay, this next one feels a bit meta. The know-it-all expert.
Yeah.
So they don't just think they know everything. They think they know more about your business than you do. The source says they're all about unsolicited advice, trying to micromanage your operations. I can feel my eye twitching just imagining it.
It's a tough one, right? You want to acknowledge their enthusiasm, appreciate that they care enough to, offer input, but also you have a business to run.
So how do we politely but firmly put on our I'm the expert here hat?
Start by thanking them for their input, then gently redirect. Explain you have established processes in place or that you've considered their suggestions, but you're going in a different direction.
And if they continue to be, shall we say, disruptive,
then you might have to set firmer boundaries. Politely, but assertively, reiterate that you appreciate their perspective, but you need to focus on running your business.
Keyword, politely. Don't want to add fuel to the fire.
Hmm.
Okay, on to our penultimate customer type, the chronic complainer. We talked about the complainer earlier, but this is next level complaining. Not a one-time thing. It's like their whole deal. The source says it's important to try to understand their underlying issues. Is there a deeper reason someone's constantly complaining?
Often, yeah. Could be a personality trait, a need for control, even a way of, seeking attention. The key is to approach them with empathy while still setting those clear boundaries we talked about.
Recognizing that you can't please everyone all the time, right?
Exactly. You can offer solutions, alternative compromises, but you can't change who they are. And sometimes you might just have to accept that it's healthier for your business to, limit your interactions with them.
So they're going to say sometimes you got to fire your customers.
Yeah.
Tough love. Okay, last but not least, we have the ghost customer. This one's a bit of a head scratcher. They make a purchase and then vanish. Poof, gone. So the source mentions following up with these ghost customers to ensure satisfaction. But what's the point, right?
Yeah.
As they're gone. It's like trying to give a high five to, a ghost.
True, you probably won't see them again. But it's less about getting them back and more about, gathering intel.
Intel. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Think of it this way. That simple feedback survey, a well-crafted email asking about their experience, can be super revealing.
So even ghost customers can give you some valuable insights. That's wild.
Exactly. Maybe they were happy, but they just didn't need anything else from you. Or maybe there was an issue, something you're not even aware of. This feedback, even from those ghosts, it can help you refine things, improve the experience for your future customers.
It's like they say, sometimes you learn the most from the people who leave. And there you have it. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the 10 types of bad customers. We explored their motivations, the challenges they bring to the table, and hey, even some strategies for turning those dreaded encounters into opportunities for growth. Who knew there was so much to learn about bad customers?
Right. And as you're navigating the, shall we say, turbulent waters of customer interactions out there, just remember this. While we focused on the challenging types today, this knowledge, it's powerful.
I like where you're going with this. Tell me more.
Think of it this way. How can you apply these insights, not just to survive, but to thrive, to better understand and meet the needs of all your customers, not just the difficult ones?
That's a question worth pondering. We've given you the tools. Now it's your turn to use them. Share your own memorable customer encounters with us. We're all ears. Until next time, happy diving.